Ow. All right, ladies, and this video is intended pretty much for you because whether you want to admit it or not, this is primarily a problem that is associated with women, with female drivers, female vehicle owners, flat out, okay? Normally I start my videos with, hey guys, because I know who my audience is and that's just how I talk, but this is primarily aimed at you ladies, okay? Now, take a look at the screen and imagine that this is the way your dash looks. You will notice that there's something very familiar that is totally, almost completely prone to the female sex when it comes to cars. And that is running the gas gauge down and the gas level in a car down to virtually nothing before they decide, oh, maybe I should get some gas now. I am going to mansplain to you in this video why you need to stop doing that. And for the love of everything you may find holy, listen for once, okay? Listen. I know it's going to be hard, but you need to listen. And before any ladies get on here and pull out your keyboard or pretty much like get your phones like, hey, I'm not like this at all. I always fill my car up, blah, blah. I don't let it get into this low. First of all, I don't believe you. Second of all, if that is in fact actually true, you are such a statistical anomaly that it affects nothing and is a statistical zero, and this still applies for the rest of everything else. Now, first of all, okay, let me explain something here. And we're going to talk about fuel injected cars because pretty much every car now, commuter car wise, all the stuff you have now is fuel injected. There's virtually hardly any carbureted cars on the road, and if they are, they're more still kind of just like fun weekend cars, okay? In a fuel injected car, you have in the gas tank something called a fuel pump, okay? What this does is this sits down into the gas tank. It is submerged in the gas at the bottom side here where my finger is. There will be like a sock of some sort that sucks down, and it sucks the gas up through here and goes out the outlet and gets pumped to the car, okay, up to the engine. There is a hot and a ground wire of some sort. This is just a one I have for a 3rd gen Camaro sitting around because obviously those are my cars, but they will have a constant power source running to it the whole time. What that means is there's 12 volts battery power that is coming from your alternator or from the battery when you first start up, and once the car is running, it switches to the alternator. That is running to this fuel pump non-stop. Now, this is a fuel pump for an older style car, so it has a return system. So what that means is the gas will get sucked up through here. It'll go be pumped up to the engine, around through the fuel injectors, and everything that isn't sent out through the fuel injectors into the engine to be burned, then comes back and returns to the tank. Okay, this is running at the same speed the whole time, just pumping a certain volume. What gets used gets used. Okay, the duty cycles of the injectors is what controls how much is actually being pulled out of that actual continuous flow and is getting used to run the car. There are returnless systems to where this just pushes in a certain way, and then there are also other systems to where the fuel pump is a signal is sent to it depending on what the duty cycle is and what is needed in the engine running at the time to make sure that the pump either slows down or increases the volume flow to make sure that there is adequate supply of fuel to the engine at any given time when it is needed. Some cars have one fuel pump, some have multiple fuel pumps in the system, some have a single pump and a secondary pump. The secondary pump kicks on when it's needed, below it. It doesn't matter. What matters is this. This is a fuel pump that sits in the gas that is submerged, okay? There is power going to it, and any time that there's power running to this pump and the pump is running, the pump is building up heat, okay? So imagine this. We're going to have to use our imagination just like all your little smut novels, okay? You should be good at doing this here, okay? This bucket here is going to play the part of our gas tank in our car. Since a fuel pump will sit vertical like this, most of the time I'm just going to stick it in this aftermarket cup holder here I have hanging around, and I'm going to stick it at the bottom, right there at the bottom of the gas tank, because the fuel pump goes as low as it can, because as the level goes down, it still needs to pick it up from the bottom. If it's sitting up high, right as soon as the level runs down, it'll it'll drain, the pump will suck dry, and we don't want that. And that's the point of this video. So now imagine this. Fuel pump is in the gas tank. Okay, now we're going to fill it up with gas. And for gas, I'm going to use rags. Okay, we're filling up our gas tank. Okay, let's put it around here. Put it around and around and around. Okay, you see, we're filling up. It's down low, and now we're putting in more. Okay, and we're putting in more, and we're filling up and filling up. All right, and our gas tank is nice and full. We have topped it off. We're full. You can't see the fuel pump at all anymore because it is covered up by the gas in the gas tank, okay? We have a gas tank that is so big, however many gallons. This would be a 5-gallon gas tank. Okay, this has 5 gallons of gas in it right now, a volume that is used to dissipate the heat that is being built up in that fuel pump, okay? The more volume we have of gas around the fuel pump, the more heat it can dissipate, the cooler fuel pump can stay, the longer it will last, okay? As we are driving, we're just going to naturally just like, okay, we're starting to run out of gas, burning gas, we're going down, okay. We're using up that gas as we go. We get to a certain point here to where as we're running out, we're using up gas, is that the fuel pump is starting to be uncovered, okay? So, every little bit of gas that goes away is reducing the volume of gas in the car that can dissipate the heat. When we start getting extra low, the fuel pump itself starts to become unsubmerged in the car. So now we can see that we only have enough fuel and gas in the gas tank that we're only covering up half of the gas, or half of the fuel pump, okay? So this entire area that's up here is just building up heat and building up heat and building up heat, and this last little bit of gas down here is the only thing that can kind of try to pull the heat away, but there's not enough volume in it to exchange that heat to help it cool down. And then we keep on driving, and we keep going because like, oh, my car says I got another 30 miles. I can keep on going. Oh, I don't have to worry about it. I'll make it to a gas station, and we're driving, and we're driving, and we're driving till we have virtually nothing left in the tank, to where we are just about on E, if not just a little bit above it. And then we're like, okay, maybe I'll stop and get gas now. The entire time that you have been doing that, this fuel pump has been getting hot. And the absolute worst thing you can do for a fuel pump is to let it get hot. Heat is what kills these things, okay? So by you repeatedly running your car down to nothing, you are overheating your fuel pump. At some point in time, you may be lucky if your fuel pump, because it will die. This is my point here. You are killing your fuel pump. You may be lucky that at some point in time, if your fuel pump dies, it merely gets overheated here and it shuts off. And then when it sits around for long enough, it will cool down enough to where you can start the car and drive it and get it to where you need to go, so you're not stuck on the side of the road. That's if you're lucky. But you probably won't be lucky, and what you're going to do is you're just going to burn out your fuel pump completely. It's not going to pump fuel. Your car won't start. You won't be able to drive. You won't be able to go anywhere. And guess what that means you have to do? You're going to have to get it towed. You're going to have to get it fixed. And these things, for the most part, are not easy to replace because they are in the gas tank. The gas tank is underneath the car, and depending on where it is hidden, it can be a gigantic pain in the ass to get it out. You won't be the one replacing it. You will be probably nagging your husband or something, say, oh, my car's whatever. And if your husband is handy, he'll be coming onto YouTube looking for someone like me to show them how to do it. If not, you'll be paying an exorbitant amount of money to take your car to a shop to have someone else swap this out for you. Some of them are easier to change because not even a lot of cars now, so a good bit of new cars now at least know that these die because they know who's driving them and they know what they're doing that's causing these to die. So they put in a fuel access door somewhere on the top to where you can open that up, pull the pump out, put it back in, and close it up. Older cars, like the Camaros here, see right there on top of my white car, that box right there, that's a gas tank. That box right there, that's a new sending unit with a fuel pump in it. This fuel pump has died in this car for the 3rd time from it being old. And in order to change that out, I had to get the ass end of that car up as high as I possibly can, drop the rear end down as far as it will possibly go, pull the entirety of the exhaust out so I can wedge out the gas tank to get it out to replace the fuel pump, okay? That is what you will be paying people to do if you do not stop doing this in your vehicles, okay? These need fuel around them. They need gas around them. They need to be kept cool or they will die. And then you will be out of a lot of money to pay someone to fix it for you, okay? Do not let your gas tank get below a quarter of a tank. Period. Stop it. A quarter of a tank, fill your car back up, okay? And then when we go into like times where it's like winter and all that stuff and you keep running down lower and lower and lower, it's just going to allow more moisture to build up inside your gas tank, which will then rust out your fuel lines. It will clog up injectors, all that stuff. You don't want that to happen either. Do not go below a quarter of a tank. And I am saying this in the manner I am talking right now because every time I get in another vehicle, I have to deal with the same situation. No matter how many times I say it, it's still the same thing because people don't listen.
You are angry. It's okay.
I'm not angry. Except when you keep repeating, you're angry.
So, ladies, understand that what you are doing is detrimental to the longevity of your vehicle and to your pocketbooks, okay? Because these will die, they will need to be replaced, and they will need to be fixed, all right? Now, that's not even talking about it from a safety standpoint. If you keep running your car down to virtually nothing, you only have a limited amount of distance at which you can travel before you are stuck on the side of the road, in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, or let's just say someone is potentially, I don't know, following you, and you want to get away, but you're out in the middle of nowhere, and you suddenly ran out of gas, and now you are screwed. Or maybe assume that there's a grid down type of scenario to where, oh, everything's gone to hell. I need to pack up and bug out and get out of here, but I only have 30 miles worth of gas, supposedly according to my car computer, to get out of the big city that I live in because like the majority of the population of the world now live in big cities. So good luck trying to get out away from everyone when you have no gas in your vehicle.
Woozah.
I don't know what the you're talking about.
Yes, you do know what the I'm talking about.
Okay? Now, I say all that very frustrated wise to let you ladies know to stop doing this. And yes, I know there will be a very small amount of guys out there that will do this too. And the same goes for you because you're dumbasses as well. All right? Stop doing this. Stop destroying your stuff just because you don't want to stop and get gas or whatever it is. Fill up your car. It will last much longer. Okay. That's all I have for today. If you're a guy watching this, which you most likely are, send this to the lady in your life, anyone you may know, anyone you know that does this, and hopefully, if they see someone else saying it, maybe they'll believe it a little bit more as opposed to just you saying it. As far as that, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.